What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review for Sister Season 2, episode. What are we on? Episode 5, episode 4. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all a couple of things before we get started on this review. Okay. The only reason why I kept reviewing this show last year is because y'all was watching the reviews. Y'all ain't watching the reviews, so if y'all not watching the reviews, I'm gonna start reviewing this show. And I don't normally say that. Y'all know I don't do that. I watch the shows I like. I review the shows I like, and it is what it is. But this show, I was doing for y'all. And if y'all don't want it no more, because when I tell you this show plays games, I don't know what's going on with this lighting situation. I don't know what we're doing here. This show's playing too many games. Okay, let's just start off at the beginning. And this is gonna be one of them reviews. So if you are a Tyler Perry stan, this is probably not gonna be the review for you because this episode was doing way too much. So we have Zach and Fatima on their way, and thank y'all for letting me know the girl name was Fatima. I forgot what I was calling her last week, but I know it wasn't Fatima, and I knew it was wrong when I was saying it, but I felt like I was close to being right. Anyway, they on their way down to the hotel. Fatima says to Zach, "You sure that this is the hotel where you staying?" And Zach was like, "What you talking about? What you trying to say?" She was like, "Cause you riding a bike, and this hotel is like, $500 a night type hotel." So then he gonna say, "Well, I got a friend who's staying there." What's going on with this light, y'all? I got a friend that's staying there. Okay, whatever. So she drops him off, right? Zach gets to the hotel, and the dude is delivering the flowers and the candy that the assistant sent down there. And Zach was like, "Oh, that's going for Karen? You just happened in this big ass hotel. You just happened to run into the right person going to the right place. All right, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna let you have that." Oh, let me rewind. See, I'm going too fast. Zach ended up flirting with Fatima, and she ended up giving him the phone number. She kept telling him, "Listen, don't get no trouble. Stay on the straight and narrow. This is a great opportunity for you. Don't mess it up." And Zach was like, "I got it. I'm good. Don't worry about me. We good." She was like, "Okay, I just want you to know this is a great opportunity. Don't screw it up." He was like, "I said I got it." Okay. So he gets to the hotel, and the dude, and this is the one thing that they get right. The dude was like, when Zach was like, "Well, you can open the door, just let me know where." He was like, "No, I can't do that." Now, that is some protocol. Y'all know hotel rooms can't just be running around willy-nilly just letting you in people's rooms just because you say that's your room. You got to show some proof. You got to go back down to the front desk, get you a key, show your ID, do something. They got to do something. You can't just, they ain't supposed to do that. They're not supposed to do that. Anyway, so he wouldn't let Zach in, right? So as soon as he walks off, he delivers the stuff. Zach breaks into the room. Now, when Zach is breaking into the room, I'm sitting there in my mind thinking, they don't have no camera in this hallway to see him literally kneeling down, going through his book bag, pulling out a screwdriver, and busting the door open. Ain't nobody see that. But I was cool. Work with me, y'all. Work with me, because they did see it, okay? Before y'all start leaving comments talking about something, they did see it. Let me finish talking, because they did see it. Zach comes busting through the door just as Preacher Man got his face firmly planted between Karen's legs, about to have dessert. Okay? Okay. Baby, Zach comes in there and knocks that man up off of Karen like he, one, had a right to be there. Two, like Karen was doing something she ain't had no right to do. And three, like he was rescuing her from somebody. Dude. And all he kept saying was, "You ain't seeing nobody, Karen? Ain't nothing going on between y'all, Karen? For real? For real? For real, Karen? For real?" See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about, y'all, with guys. Now, Zach, let's go all the way back to the beginning of last season. This whole situation started because you cheated on Karen. Not for the first time, the second time, or the third time. Hell, it was probably the fourth or the fifth time. And we started off because her ass was down to the clinic getting tested for STDs because she didn't know whether you brought something home. What you don't do is have the right to get mad because she getting her freak on. Now, granted, she might be a little confused as well with her whole situation because she really want to walk away from you, but her heart won't let her. So she playing that back and forth thing. I get it. But Zach, you don't get to be mad. And you damn sure don't get to bust inside of this woman's hotel room / man's hotel room and have an attitude. Now, while all this is going on, him and old boy get into it. Now, they don't really fight, but they do that back and forth. Now, here come hotel security because they did see him breaking into the room, okay? And they end up arresting him and rolling out. Now, Karen ended up leaving, But to Karen's credit, she did not take her butt down to the police station and bail him out, which is what I really thought she was gonna do, right? But in return, y'all know who ended up seeing Zach, right? The police officer that Zach knows from high school that he hit it and quit it on. That's who. Oh, that's what. I'm sorry. The flowers didn't get delivered. He knocked on the door, but they didn't answer the door because they were about to get their freak on. Whatever. So she is clowning Zach about, what you get locked up for, what you here for, blah blah blah. Zach ends up letting her, saying, listen, they gave me a $5,000 bail, cash only. I'm supposed to be at work right now. I need your help. Can you please let me use your phone? Let me call some people. Here's the thing, Zach, you ain't got nobody to call. So Zach ends up calling Fatima. The woman you just met the night before that you damn near that damn near killed you because she hit you while you was riding your bike. That's the woman you call. Out of all the people that you might think you... Alright, whatever. And she was like, are you asking me for $5,000? Because see, that would have been my reaction. Like, are you asking me for $5,000? Like, I know that's not what you... I know you're not asking me for $5,000. I don't know you, bruh. Like, you be better off suing me for hitting you and trying to get $5,000 in small claims court. Bro, I don't know you. So, she tells Zach, listen, I can't do nothing until I get off work. I'm at work right now, whatever. Now, I don't know what she gonna do because, like I said, it wouldn't be nothing I could do for him. I'd be like, listen, I pray for you. I pray that it all works out. You call me when you figure all that out, okay? Now, down to Sabrina's apartment. Sabrina, Andy is depressed. Andy is in bed. Andy is feeling sorry for herself, which at this point, I think she about due for that. Andy is about due for a pity party. Now, I ain't saying it's got to be a long pity party, but I think Andy is about due for a good, 24-hour pity party. Then you say, all right, get your ass up, dust yourself off, let's get you a shower. Come on, let's do this. Put your makeup on, get your braids, get a fly outfit. But Sabrina was about 24 hours ahead of me. She told Andy, get your butt up. We're not doing this. We're not going to sit here and feel sorry for ourselves. Listen, my job done called me. I don't know if they about to fire me or not. They done called me down there for a meeting. But I'm going to go down there with some good spirits and some positive vibes. You need to do the same. You need to get it together. You need to come on, let's go. So then Andy going to say, well, I don't have no money. Sabrina going to pull out a credit card. Talking about some girl here, take my credit card, go get you. First she said, you can wear something of mine. Child, instead of Andy saying thank you, Andy gonna hit her with the, that's not really my style. Because, okay, let me rewind. See, I'm getting ahead of myself because the show. Here's the part that I wanted to emphasize. I don't know why I got ahead of myself, because this is the part I kind of wanted to emphasize. Why do we keep forgetting that we're waiting to talk to, am I missing these scenes? Am I not seeing the scenes? Because in episode 1 or episode 2, whichever one it was, we were going to call the private investigator. Then in episode 3, we had the exact same conversation about calling the private investigator to see if she had backup files for the files that are in your apartment where you can't get into. Now today, she was like, well, in this episode, she was like, well, I don't have the proof. And Sabrina was like, well, girl, you just going to have to find another way to get the proof. And I'm like, have we talked to the private investigator yet? Has she just not returned our phone calls? Is she ghosting us? Because I feel like that's something that's kind of being left out there. Because if the private investigator calls you back, any good private investigator would keep files, right? I don't know how that works. Is that an ethical violation? Are you supposed to turn everything over and not keep copies? I don't know. But I feel like this woman don't care about ethics. I feel like she would have kept some copies. Because I feel like she was trying to tell Andy that some stuff was going on from the beginning. I feel like she would have kept copies. But whatever. So they just talking like Andy lost all the evidence and there's nothing she can do. Anyway, let's get back to the credit card. So Sabrina was like, fine, then take my credit card, go buy you some, buy you an outfit, get yourself, and going down to that office girl. No! Andy got fired. They wouldn't even let her come clean out her desk. They sent her assistant with her shit to her apartment. How she get to go back down to that office? That child security would stop her at the door. Girl, you got essentially walked off your job and the FBI looking for you. Like, they done raided your apartment. They done came to the office raiding your office. Girl, you don't get to go to work. Anyway. So Andy gonna tell Sabrina. Sabrina takes out her credit cards and gives it to Andy. Now these people on this show are the most psychic people I have ever seen in my life. First, the assistant could tell what room number the people were staying at just by looking at her hotel room key through a blouse. Now Andy know what Sabrina's credit limit is on her credit card just by looking at the credit card it is. I mean, what was it like? Like, I mean, hell, even Capital One got some high limits depending on the people. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, she gonna tell her it ain't a big enough limit. Girl, what you buying? Because if my limit is not big enough, then you need to find some place that will accommodate my limit. Because I'm doing you a favor. Or you can go back to that closet that I told you could look through and get the shit free. That was a mess. And he was doing a lot. Whatever. So, while all this is going on, we got the cowboy and Danny down to her apartment. Now, the cowboy, he handcuffs Danny to the bed this time. Now, they go joking back and forth. Now, mind you, she had handcuffed him before. And she's like, come on, let me out. She was like, I go to the bathroom. He was like, oh, I got something for that. He goes and gets a pan. Now, I understand he was playing, but I wouldn't have found that funny either. Then he says, well, beg me. And then he says, gal. So, of course, that triggered Danny. And I'm going to be honest, when he said it, I understood exactly where Danny was going. You just got finished telling me that your whole family is racist, except for you. Somehow you and your sister didn't eat the racist, grits at breakfast. Now you got me handcuffed, naked, talking about some beg me to let you free, gal. Yeah, that probably would have triggered me too. And Danny had to let him know, like, how serious and how deep it was. And she did, like, And normally I give Danny a hard time, but that was not one. Like, in that moment, I feel like, I feel you on that one, Danny. And of course, he did try to apologize, because he really didn't mean it that way. Like, he really was playing with her the same way she plays with him. The same way she plays with him. And she did come out to try to apologize after she sort of got a little cry out. But by that time, he was gone. Listen, I don't know if their differences are enough. Like, I don't know if they can overcome the conflicts. I don't know if they can, because Danny just inherently doesn't trust him. One, because he's a man. Two, because he's a white man. And I don't know. I like him, and I think he's good for her if she would let down her guard and open up to it. I don't know, y'all. Anyway, so the lawyer goes to visit Gary down to the jail. Now, again, I'm confused. I'm so confused right now, because the lawyer who I thought was representing Danny, it seems like he's representing Gary and Danny, but Gary starts talking about his business attorney. And so I feel like if you still got enough money hidden away that your business attorney is still working for you, then I feel like you could have found a criminal attorney. And it didn't have to be somebody that Andy had to find. But anyway, the dude starts talking to Gary about the case, and that he talked to Andy and what Andy said to Andy this. And baby, Gary got in his feelings. Because, of course, Gary was like, listen, I'm not guilty. I didn't do nothing. He was like, well, he said, well, Andy has kind of lost everything behind this. And he was like, well, me and my business attorney are working on that. He was like, well, what are y'all working on? He was like, nothing. I can't tell you about it, but we working on something. What we working on? What we working on? Then he says, so when were you talking to Andy? Well, how late were you out there? Well, what did you say? And of course, getting jealous. And see, this is what I was saying last week about, I do think Gary was set up, but Gary still ain't a good dude. Like Andy still don't need to mess with him. So Gary starts getting real nasty with the lawyer, and the lawyer picks up on it. Like, he ain't stupid. He picks up on what's going on, and he ends up like, listen, I gotta go. And he gets back down to the office, and he lets Fatima know, like, listen, I don't like that dude. I don't know what all this is. I know that you vouching for Andy and everything, and Andy seemed cool. But this Gary dude, I'm not feeling him. I don't know what his situation is. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm not feeling him at all. So, while this is going on, a messenger comes in there and drops off a package to Fatima. And the message is, give this to Andy. Fatima opens up the box, and it's just cash. Just cold hard cash. So now I'm thinking, well, hell, Gary, maybe you are into some shit. Who just got that? And why would you send it to her job? Just crazy. Listen. So, of course, the attorney was sitting there like, well, what's in the box? Because, of course, Fatima responded. And I'm thinking, hell, you might as well go and take $5,000 out that box and take it on down there and go and get Zach out of jail, child. Now, while I'm going to get back to them in a second, child. So, while this is going on, Candace slept down at her to her salon because she can't go back to her apartment. I guess she didn't want to go back to Karen's place. To Sabrina's place after she done lied her way up out of there. Hell, I feel like she could have got herself a hotel room, her damn self at that hotel, but okay. The assistant comes in, and the assistant basically ends up letting her know that she was the one that sent the flowers and stuff on behalf of Zach. And Karen told her what was up. Like, girl, you the reason why Zach actually got arrested. And she was like, well, you're not going to go get him out of jail? She was like, no. And honestly, I wouldn't either. Because Zach, you was dead wrong. You was dead wrong for that. Are we there yet? So, down to the gay bar, we have Sabrina's boo down to the gay bar, and they're getting the situation together for her dad. Sabrina comes down there, and here comes oh shoot, you know her friend Maurice. Here comes Maurice. Now, mind you, this whole thing was supposed to be a surprise for Maurice to help raise money, for Maurice or whatever, on behalf of the dad. And so Maurice comes down there, and of course Maurice is Maurice. He's being all extra, talking about, hey, you didn't, y'all thought I was going to die or something. This is a benefit for me. He was like, no, this is a benefit for my dad. He was like, oh, my bad, Calvin. Like, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. So he was like, well, why you not at work? She's like, I'm on my way, because she on her way down for this meeting that she don't know whether she going to get fired or not. She on her way down there for this meeting, honey. And so they have a little moment, and Maurice is extra. It wasn't really a whole lot with that, other than he know about the surprise. And Calvin is saying his dad's not taking his other dad's death very well, but it wasn't really a whole lot with that. Okay. Last but not least, child. Andy done made her way down to the office. She comes walking up in there right as Fatima gets this box full of cash. And Fatima tells her, oh, this is from Gary. A messenger dropped it off. She told me something, oh, I don't want that. Fatima was like, you sure? She was like, girl, I don't want it. You can have it. She was like, I can have it. But she ends up letting her know, listen, girl, it's a box full of cash. You might want it. And she was like, oh, for real? Oh, my God. Okay, well, you hold on to this because I need to go talk to her old boss. Baby, she goes sauntering in there. Mind you, like I said, security should have stopped her at the door, but you shouldn't even have clearance to get in that building. But she ends up talking to him, and I knew what she was doing. I knew she was taping him, and she was trying to set him up to say something incriminating, which, of course, she was able to do. So she gets him to admit that they were setting her up for the insurance money, and that all she needs to do is file a racial discrimination case, and they'll get their cut, and that they're insured for $1 million. So she can walk away with $1 million. And she was like, but I've lost everything. You know what I mean? I've lost my career, whatever. So she's able to convince, like I said, she's able to get him to incriminate himself enough to get it all on tape, what the scheme was, who he was working with, all of that. So she leaves out of his office as soon as she gets enough on tape. She leaves out of his office and ends up going into the big boss's office, the guy that ended up firing her. And he was like, what you doing in here? And she tells him what it is, and she plays him enough of the tape. And of course, her boss comes running in there talking about something. She crazy. Don't believe nothing she's saying. But he was like, well, do you have any proof? Other than the tape. She was like, well, no, but, and she's able to spin it and convince him. He was like, well, listen, I tell you what, you bring me some concrete proof that we can make some things happen. And she ends up walking out of there and ends up having a moment, because I think that's when it, like, she's crying. She's like, her and Fatima, she ends up sort of breaking down, because I think in that moment it hits her like, wow, like there might be some light at the end of this tunnel, Baby, you know it ain't gonna be that easy, child. I don't know how many episodes we got, but hell, we only on episode 4. You know that shit ain't gonna be that easy. I still wanna know what the hell is the private detective, though. Why we keep saying let's call the woman, but don't nobody call. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Did I miss it? Did I miss the conversation with the private detective? Did the woman say that I might have missed it, y'all? Let me know. Y'all get me together in them comments. Talk to y'all later. Peace.